Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you are all doing well and you enjoyed your spring break. We are missing you terribly, and we are glad to be back with you to do day 6 of our virtual learning packet. So today I'm actually going to do some screen sharing, and with my screen sharing, it's going to show you the packet as we go through. I think it'll be a little bit easier for you to see and understand. So let's get started. All right, so here we are with our virtual learning packet. Today is Monday, April 30th, and we're on day 6. We're going to start with reading and read the story, The Noisiest Cat, and follow up with a plot map. So here's our story. It's based from ReadWorks, so please, if you are in my class, it's posted on your Google Classroom. You can read it there, or you can read it with us, or whatever you want to do. I highly recommend you read it first on your own. You are capable of doing it. We are just here to review and reinforce. So here's my story. Melissa had a cat that loved her too much. The cat was named Roger. He was an older cat, about 10 years old, Melissa guessed. She knew because her parents told her they got Roger not long after Melissa was born. When she was little, Roger was little too. They would run and play and fall down together. Now that she was bigger, Roger was big too. Very big. Possibly, she thought proudly, he was the fattest cat in town. But more importantly, he was the sweetest. When Melissa watched TV, Roger sat on her lap. When she did her homework, he sat on her paper. When she ate, he ate too. Everywhere Melissa went, Roger followed. That cat loves you so much, Melissa's mother would say. He doesn't know what to do without you. Most of the time, this is great. Other girls had dolls. Other girls had stuffed animals. Other girls had guinea pigs and hamsters and hermit crabs that were usually in cages or tanks. But Melissa didn't need any of that. She had a big fat kitty that followed her everywhere. Yes, it was all pretty great until Melissa tried to go to sleep. At night, Roger would sit outside her door, perched like a hen on an egg. All night long, Roger would wait for Melissa to wake up. At first, he would wait quietly, but after a few hours, he would start to get impatient. Every night at around 1 in the morning, Roger would start to yell. If you do not have a cat, you do not know what an awful noise a yell could be. Cats make lots of noises, like purring and meowing and sneezing. But a yowl is not nice at all. It starts deep inside their throat and moves up slowly, getting louder all the time. Yow, Roger would say, over and over again. It sounded like he was being stepped on. It sounded like he was in pain. And it woke Melissa up every time. Her eyes would pop open, her stomach would twist up. She would lie there for hours, listening to Roger's awful cry. No human is strong enough to sleep through a yelling cat. Mom, Melissa would say the next day, Roger was yelling again last night. He kept me up for hours. Oh, sweetie, Mom would say, he just can't stand to be without you. He loves you too much. Why don't you just open the door and let him in? Melissa tried this once. When Roger started yelling, When Roger started yelling, she stomped across the room and opened the door. He bounded in. She lay back down and tried to sleep. She couldn't. It isn't easy to sleep when a cat is walking on your head. She moved Roger, but he came back. She hid under her blanket, but he just poked her over and over again with his paw. When he started to yell again, Melissa got fed up. She jerked the blanket off her head and stood up. Oh, no, you don't, she said. No yelling in here. She put Roger out in the hall where he started his song again. Mom, she said the next day, Roger kept me up all night. First he walked on my head and then he kept yelling. Oh dear, said Mom. I guess he loves you too much. I have an idea. Take this spray bottle to bed with you. When he starts making noise, just give him a little squirt. Cats hate water. He'll run right away. That night, Roger started yelling on time. At 1 a.m. sharp, Melissa was waiting for him. She gave him 3 quick squirts with the bottle and he ran away. She said, now I can get some sleep. But 5 minutes later, the cat was back yelling away, over and over, and she squirted him. And over, he came back. What a piece of junk, she said, and threw the bottle into the trash. Outside, Roger yelled some more. Fine, she shouted, you win! She opened the door and Roger bounded inside. Soon he was sound asleep, cuddled on top of her head. Melissa didn't care. She would rather have a cat for a hat, she decided, than a cat that wouldn't be quiet. So what they want you to do is they want you to now make a plot map. So I took a picture of a plot map and I put these pink boxes in here so we can type in our information. We always want to start with our background information, so that would be our characters in our setting. So if we go back into our story, we know we have Melissa, who's a character, and Roger. Let me see if this will let me draw. There we go. So I have Melissa here. I have Roger. And then I also have Mom. And Mom is on the next page. And then we want to know our setting. Now, if we think about our setting, they were in a house. They talk about sleeping. They talk about this cat following her everywhere and watching TV and all of those things. And those are all things we do at our home. So that is going to be taking place at their house. So I'm going to write the background in this one. So background, and bear with me because I might have to adjust the font as we go. So this goes with the background one. I'll just number them at the end, but that'll be better. Okay, so with the background, I'm gonna adjust the font a little bit. Okay, we have Melissa, Mom, Roger. So these are our characters. Ooh, Roger, not Roger. Characters. Melissa, Mom, and Roger. And then the setting is at home. Okay, so that goes with background. Now, our rising action we have here, I'm gonna make this box a little bit bigger for us. Move it over a little bit. Okay. Our rising action is where we talk about what leads up to the main problem. So we have Melissa has Roger, who is a cat who follows her around everywhere. And in the beginning of the story, that sounds great. She has this cat who loves her and is everywhere. But then we come to our climax, which is our problem, or the highest point in our story. And with our climax, we are going to talk about how Roger keeps Melissa up at night by yelling outside of her bedroom door. This causes her to not be able to sleep. So that's a problem. She can't sleep. If you don't have sleep, you're going to be really grumpy. So she's grumpy because he will not leave her alone. So what happens next is our following action. And with our following action, Mom gives Melissa a spray bottle to get rid of, or to make Roger stop yelling. It does not work. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. I apologize that some of this looks messy. I'm doing my best. And it, for some reason, doesn't really like the way I'm typing, but that's okay. Mom gives Melissa a spray bottle to make Roger stop yelling, and it does not work. So at the end, our resolution is she's just going to let him sleep in there because, honestly, at that point, she's just tired. So Melissa lets Roger sleep in her room on her head so she can get sleep too. And that is our resolution. And it's a pretty straightforward, little cute story about our cat and Melissa. So hopefully you were able to follow along with that. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm getting used to using Zoom and recording our videos, so bear with me. But that is what your plot map could look like. We recommend you just draw it on a piece of paper. You don't need anything fancy. You can make a plot map really easily. You're just pretty much using a triangle with legs. I wanted to talk about real quick, this is just a fancy word down here, inciting incident, for background. So if you were like, what does that mean? That's what that means, okay? Moving on to math, and I'm going to make this full screen so we can do this problem. Actually, I'm going to need my pen, so we'll leave it. All right, our question today is Fred's Nature Store sold 2,046 pounds of birdseed last month. What is 2,046 rounded to the nearest 100? Friends, if you are reading this problem, the first thing you should do is box, square, star, highlight, I don't care, something to that 100, because the 100 tells us that we are looking at the hundredth place. Now I like that highlighter better, so I'm gonna actually just do the highlighter. Important. Hundreds important, and this number 2046 is really important because that's the number we are rounding. Now, if you forget the rounding rhyme, I have it at the bottom. Remember the rounding rhyme. Circle the place, look next door. If the neighbor is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the circle place stays the same. No need for more. If the circle place is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then the circle place goes up by 1 this time. All digits in the front stay the same. All digits behind, 0 is your name. I told you at the beginning of the year, you're going to be singing that in your sleep. If it's not stuck in your head yet, you need to get it there because that is the key to figuring out our rounding question. Now, the second thing I want you to do is you need to label your numbers. So remember, all year long, we've been making these pretty charts that some of you love and some of you don't love so much, but it really helps us. So here I am making my chart, and you can draw this on a piece of paper. And I'm going to label it. This is my ones. This is my tens. This is my hundreds. And this is my thousands. Okay. So there I have it. Now, in our problem, it says 100. So I need to figure out what my 100 is. My hundredth place is my 0. Does everyone see that? I circle my place. I look next door. My neighbor in my 10 spot is a 4. So I look at my rounding rhyme. If the neighbor is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then the circled place stays the same. No need for more. So this 0 is going to stay the same. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to move over this rounding rhyme so I can put it right underneath so you can see. I am going to bring my 0 down. So I'm going to write this for you. My 0 is going to stay the same. Now, if we look at our rounding rhyme, all digits in the front, so that means our thousands place stays the same. All digits behind 0 is your name. So your 10s and your 1s turn into 0. Sorry for that awkward looking 0. Oh well. So it rounds to 2,000. It is closer to 2,000 than it is to 2,100. And that is how you do the rounding rhyme. Last thing for today is science. We're going to talk about some states of matter. Now, I know this is a little bit hard to see. I'm super sorry. This was the best I could do with putting it on my computer screen. So this is a worksheet. It's in the back of your packet, and it talks about matter and its states. So matter is everywhere around you. Anything that takes up space is called matter. Air, water, rocks, and even people are examples of matter. Different types of matter can be described by their mass. So we have solid matter. It has a definite shape and size, and its particles are packed tightly together. Okay, so anything solid, this is a solid. This is a solid. These are a solid. I can pick it up, okay? Now for a gas, matter that is made up of gases, particles that spread out and move around rapidly. A gas is not something I can show you. I can't put it in my hand. It's not something that you can see. A liquid is matter that can flow and does not have a shape of its own, and the particles can move freely. So an example of a liquid would be like water or soda or juice or anything that you drink. You can't pick it up because it's going to fall through your fingertips, but you can still see it. Now gas you can't see. So what we're going to do is, at the bottom of this page, there are some different words that we are going to figure out. Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas? So here we have dirt. Dirt is going to be a solid. Okay, dirt is something you can pick up in your hands and see and hold. Lemonade is a liquid. A liquid is something that you pour in a cup, pour in a bucket, pour somewhere. You can see it, you can feel it, you can hold it. Actually, just kidding. You can see it, you can't hold it. Sorry, friends, I'm trying to get this adjusted. Okay, helium in a balloon, that is a gas. Okay, a gas is something that we can't see, we can't feel, but it is there. We have an apple. An apple is a solid. I can pick up an apple in my hand, I can hold it, I can feel it, and I can look at it. Milk is a liquid. You can pour it in a cup. You can't hold it unless it's in a cup. Flowers are a solid. It's something that you can pick up in your hand. Those particles are packed tightly together. A pencil is also a solid. It's something that I can pick up in my hands. Steam. So steam is like something like when you are boiling pasta and all that steam is coming up into the air. Steam is actually a form of a gas. We can't hold it in our hand. We can see it, but it is a form of a gas because it's coming from the water boiling. And then the last one is oil. Oil is a liquid. So think about like olive oil or vegetable oil, anything like that. It is a liquid. So check yourself with that. I'm going to leave this up for another second just so you can see it. And if you have any questions, please let us know. So friends, that was day 6 of our learning packet. Please contact your teacher if you need anything or have any questions, and you will have another video tomorrow. Bye guys.